Welcome to Venture Voices, a podcast by Enterprise Women Center of the Pan-Atlantic University, where we explore not only the challenges, but also the strategies that entrepreneurs have used over their journey. My name is Dr. Memuna Caroline, and I shall be your host. And today, with me, I have two beautiful women. And these women are really very unique. So, Dr. Memuna Caroline, who I call my celebrity shrink, because she's a psychiatrist and clinical psychologist. And then also in the studio with me today is Caroline Akinoto, who is a psychologist. And today we're going to be looking at the topic, the psychological costs of being an entrepreneur. Okay, so I think the first question I'm going to ask is that I've said celebrity shrink, I've said clinical psychologist, they've heard psychiatrists, so people are going to be wondering, waiting. So I think what's the difference? I'm going to ask both of you to share really what it is that you do. So I'll start with you, Memuna.
That's a very brilliant question, because even the educated people amongst us do not really distinctively know which role which other person plays. For you to be a psychiatrist, you must be a medical doctor.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So psychiatrists are medical doctors who have narrowed down to specialize in psychiatry or mental health. Hence the name psychiatrist, study of a medical treatment or condition. Psychologists on the other side are degree holders, artery study in medical treatment, logy study of a particular topic. So human behavior, human way of life generally. So psychiatrists are medical doctors with specialty in mental health. Psychologists are, degree holders, the study of the human behavior. But the good thing is that the two are in the same mental health ecosystem. So we are all mental health professionals, and there's a distinction. So while the doctors will make the diagnosis, medical diagnosis, because psychology also have their own medical diagnosis and prescribe and make, this is what you have, this is the prescription. For us in Nigeria, psychiatrists are the only one in that ecosystem that can diagnose and prescribe medication. But in some other climes, psychologists have been given license to do that. But in Nigeria, you can't be a psychologist and prescribe medication. But you can make a diagnosis. This is the psychological diagnosis of XYZ. But for you to now write medication, or you need this green pea or yellow pea, it's not allowed. So it's only the psychiatrists that can do that. Okay,
fantastic. And you, Caroline?
Okay, well, what she said is very true. A lot of people don't know the differences. The difference is, as she said, she's a medical doctor. She can prescribe treatment, she can prescribe medication. We deal with talk therapy. Talk therapy. So a psychologist really deals with human behavior and the mind. So what's going on with you? Why is that? Finding out what is making you behave the way that you do. We sit down, we might have, there's something called CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy. So we will talk to you, find out what is going on with you, what the genesis of your problem is, and how we can help you. So it's mainly talk. Many people, when they start out with stress-related illnesses, they need support, the support of a counselor, a psychologist, who might be able to talk them through dealing with the problem. Now, when it gets worse, or we find out that we cannot deal with what is going on, then we pass it on to the psychiatrist, who might be able to diagnose if there's a further mental health problem and may be able to prescribe medication. So there are clear differences, even though we both work with the human mind. But there are clear differences. She's a doctor and I'm not.
You're not a doctor.
Yes. She can be a doctor if she goes to do
medicine.
Medical school.
Medical school. And do another 6 to 8.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure Caroline is not all
No.
about that.
I'm happy.
She's happy where she is. Okay. So just, listen to both of you. There's some research I saw that's, sort of put a spotlight on how many entrepreneurs are facing mental health challenges. So from both your perspectives, what are some of the common mental health challenges that entrepreneurs face? And I know that you've treated quite a number, but just so from your own experience, what are some of the most common things that we need to watch out for? Yeah. And then in answering that also, just thinking about it, how would we even know that we needed to go and see a psychologist?
Yeah.
Because some people might think that they're normal, they're okay.
Exactly. And that, before I go into your question, that also takes us into a group of people into our space, the coaches.
The coaches.
Yes. So it's a value chain kind of sector. When some people will see the counselors, some people will see the coaches, some people will see the therapists, which are basically more the psychologists. Psychiatrists can be therapists, then of course the psychiatrists if there's a need. So it also that blurry line for people to understand where your abilities and skills, stop for another person to continue. Because you cannot be coaching somebody who is suicidal. You cannot deploy therapy for somebody who has suicidal thoughts. That suicidal thought is a genesis of a problem. Mental health issues are on a spectrum from the mild to the severe. So you cannot say because this person has depression, it's mild depression, you have severe depression. So let's go back to what are the mental health issues that most entrepreneurs, or a lot of us as entrepreneurs have. Entrepreneurship has been glamorized as a path to freedom and success. But every entrepreneur watching us today should know that your biggest asset as an entrepreneur is your mental health.
Absolutely.
If you do not keep your mental health sane, forget it. No matter what you build, it's going to crumble in seconds. Health is wealth. And there is no health without mental health, period. There's no much grammar in that statement. So if we understand that entrepreneurship is, pursuit for passion, flexibility of time, those are the huge benefits. I want to make my money. I want to leave a legacy. There is a psychological price to it. So what are these statistics that shows? Entrepreneurs are 2 times likely to have clinical depression and die by suicide.
Oh, wow. 2
times. They are 3 times more likely to have what we call abuse drugs. Because, you are stressing, it's not adding up, you've not broken in full, all that.
The math isn't mathing.
It's not mathing,
Not mathing.
They are 6 times more likely to have what we call attention deficit hyperactive disorder, the neurodivergent. And they are 10 times more likely to have what we call bipolar affective disorder. Meaning they could be manic at this point, they could have depression at this point. And if you look at these statistics, they are alarming. And we also need to know that apart from the mental health prevalence, we also have the stress and burnout. These are studies that have come from University College Berkeley, Harvard Business Review, and they are saying that stress among entrepreneurs is 63 times more than the general population, stress and burnout. Because you are trying to have add up, you are trying to make sure that your business is thriving, you want to diversify, you want to... So stress and burnout is another very common one. Another one is isolation. One of the Nigerian artists has spoken, lonely at the top, lonely. It's lonely at that top. So you see yourself, I'm driving, I want to do this, I want to do this. You won't understand when gradually you start having isolating people, having people not in your circle of influence. A 4th one before Caroline steps in is relationship strain. Neka, just look at the biggest entrepreneurs in the world. Do they have partners? Jeff Bezos, Aliko Dangote, Elon Musk, like literally. Relationship, do you understand? The relationship issue is a very, because the truth is that in the drive, in the pursuit for greatness, I want to achieve this, I want to live a legacy. You find out that neglecting a very important aspect of their holistic 360-degree wellness in trying to achieve that goal of, I want to be the best, I want to be the richest, I want to be this. So mental prevalence is high, isolation is there, relationship strain, of course, stress and burnout, and of course, financial anxiety. This beginning of the year, how many of us have made all our goals, strategies, and everything? What happened in 2024? You know, it's just a whole lot that comes in when we're talking about what are those very peculiar issues that entrepreneurs face. And these are the reasons why people come to somebody like me. And I ask myself sometimes, who do I go to when I'm dealing with all of this?
I was going to ask you that. Where do you go to go and unburden your own as they're burdening you?
Follow therapists. So I tell people, say, don't ask Dr. May if she receives therapy. Ask Dr. May how often she receives therapy. Therapy, everybody deserves to have a therapist. That's just the truth. But most of us have been in denial, or we feel that, oh, I'm not on the street, I'm not mad, I'm not, because Nollywood has sold us a lie over time, thinking that you have to be on the street, eating from the trash or tearing your clothes. There's where realization.
That's when you have mental health.
Exactly, yeah. And then we are all beautifully dressed now. Do you know whether I took an antidepressant before coming here? And this is what we call package madness.
Packaging. Package madness. I like that. Package madness. Okay. So we've heard from you financial anxiety, relationship stress, depression. So those are some of the issues that the entrepreneurs that come to you have faced. How about you, Caroline? As a psychologist that is into talk therapy.
Okay. One of the things people need to look out for to identify that you might need to see somebody to talk to is anxiety. Are you feeling anxious about even waking up in the morning? Do you find it difficult dragging yourself out of bed? Do you find it difficult dealing with little tasks? Do you find yourself crying, feeling sad, breaking down? Do you find that you even hide away from talking to people? You keep to yourself. Some of these things are indicators that you might not be coping well and you need to see somebody. And it might be something simple like talking to the person to unburden what it is that you're dealing with. Now, in a lot of businesses, entrepreneurs also deal with something called imposter syndrome. So an imposter syndrome is where you feel as if you're not really good enough. So you don't put your best foot forward because you think, I can't talk. It's like coming to this session now. There are some people who dread it and might give excuses why they can't turn up today. But it could be because they're not able to cope or deal with some of the issues going on within their businesses. Now, another thing is also not being able to cope with your financial, because entrepreneurs, many have taken loans, many have borrowed money, many have even sold things just to set up their businesses. So when the time comes now to pay salary or to pay back, the stress level goes up. So you find out that a lot of people find out that their financial management, being an entrepreneur, is very high. Now, another thing that a lot of people go through as entrepreneurs is they find out that their work, she mentioned the work-life, social life balance, it suffers a lot because you're pouring all your time into your business. So you're working long hours. You're dealing with things that you've appointed staff to deal with, but you still have to oversee because, I think nowadays it's really difficult getting good staff. So you find out that you're putting in more effort into your business than what is coming out of the business. And you have to find that work-social life balance in able to make the business work. So if you're feeling anxious, you're feeling stressed about little things, you're feeling that you can't cope, you're feeling sad every time, you're just not, coping with things, you may need to come and talk to somebody. So before you get to Dr. Memuna's office, you might need to see me.
I need to do some
some
talk therapy.
Talk therapy, find out what's happening with you, what's causing it, where you're going, what do you want to do. So just talk about it.
So I hear both of you.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, we are Nigerians.
Uh-huh.
So, and you know, we can carry things. As Nigerians, we can and then as an entrepreneur, we can stomach it. So, how do we get people to even start to ask themselves questions? You said something now. Maybe you find yourself, you're sad all the time, or you don't want to get out of bed, or you're just thinking, to go to the factory.
You can't.
But for a lot of people, that's how they feel. That's their daily feeling.
Yeah.
So what can we do to sort of start to encourage people to check themselves? So like, you know how I say, you pinch yourself. To pin themselves says, you know what, this one has passed, I'm tired.
Yes,
It has passed, because, you know, a few of my family members died in one bus. And that's why I'm sad. But I just see myself being sad, you know, all the time. What can we do? How do we know? At what stage do we know that, okay, this is the point now that I must go?
And that is very key, because I like the angle Caroline came in. The truth is that you can't solve what you don't know. That's one thing. It's basic. It's just logic. So it's good for people to even realize what these things am I dealing with. Are they normal? Or is village people, it's a spiritual attack, something is doing me? Because those are the angles people will come, they say, Dr. May, this thing is village people, I know it. It's people in my sector. You know, these realtors, they have been using jazz because they don't want my own whatever to sell. So people need to understand that sadness is an emotion.
Yes.
We can be sad, there's no problem. If somebody is owing you now, you can be sad. I remember when I started gymming some years back, you know, I told my gym instructor that, you know, some people are owing me. So do you know what? He used it against. So there are a lot of unprofessional therapists in our circle of influence. We need to know that. He started using that again, using that to motivate me. So when it's time for me to box, he say, Dr. May, box all the people that are owing you. If you see the anger, give me my money.
And you get a very good workout from that.
Seriously, come and see all the sweating and endorphins, and you know what endorphin does to the body. So people need to understand that sadness is an emotion, like it's likewise the way you are happy, right? But sadness that is persistent, ongoing for a minimum of 2 weeks, there's a problem. It's not like, yes, somebody has died or whatever. Yes, maybe that is the grief and you need to talk to the grief counselor. But if it is ongoing for a minimum of 2 weeks, there's a problem. But we don't deal with that in isolation. Because it's not just, because I'm sad for the past 2 weeks, something. No. Are there other things? So what I will encourage every entrepreneur and anybody listening and watching us today is, look out for the word, one word, change. What has changed in me that, you know, wasn't there yesterday? And if I do not take the necessary steps, it may worsen tomorrow. So is the word change? Is there change in my sleeping pattern? Is there change in my eating pattern? Is there change in the relationship I have with myself and with people around me? So you may just be saying, well, employees are not good. You, the guardian employer, are you okay? Maybe you're just using your employees as scapegoats because you are just pouring into them because you are dealing with all issues. So sleeping pattern change, eating pattern change, relationship change, then interest. The interest, the zeal, the passion you use in setting up this business, it has changed. You want to go to work, you say, no, I'm not going to that office, so they will stress me. In fact, I'm tired of this work. So when you start seeing these changes, you have to start taking cognizance that there's something is wrong because the cost of not checking your mental health is huge. Productivity will go down, poor decision making will go, and then that could be the reason why your business will fail. Not because you didn't go to EDC, not because you do not have the money, not because you don't know how to invest the money, but because your mental health, you have lost the interest, you are sad, you have changes in your body system that you are not taking cognizance of. So these are some of the things that people need to know first before you now say, okay, I need to take calculated steps. And at what point? Productivity is dipping, these changes are affecting not only you, but things are people around you and your business, then of course decision-making skills are low. Because your frontal lobe, how we are here, is our decision-making, executive functioning. And if you are not in the right place, you will not be able to make those decisions. Your marketing plan is there, but you are not executing it. Oh, business development, you are not doing it. You are hiding. You are running away from your own business. And of course, you are seeing your business. Take that next step. And that next step, like I said, she's a psychologist, I'm a psychiatrist. You do not even need to come to us immediately. Who are the people in your circle of influence? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a sponsor? Do you have a coach? Do you have a trusted family member who is going to create that safe space for you? To say, Neka, just say anything you want to say, vent. My husband does that. I say, honey, I want to vent, hold space for me. He knows and what you are telling that person, that hold space for me, I'm going to vent. I didn't say you should say anything. Nudge me on, are you okay? I am here. I'm listening. Those things, I didn't say, you have talked too much. Oh. No. You need people to host it. Because sometimes that is just what you need to just
vent
it out.
You saw, as we are just talking, it reminded me of my daughter. She will call me and say, Mommy, I want to vent. Don't say anything. Just leave me. I need 10 minutes. Can you give me 10 minutes to vent? I say, then when she starts, if I want to say, Mommy, remember I'm venting. But she doesn't use the word hold space.
Yeah.
But you know, this generation, they're different. She already knows that. I can't imagine if I look back, 30 years ago, calling my mom and saying, we didn't even have GSM then. So
they have GSM.
We have GSM. But that's so interesting. And, just listening to both of you, it brings me now to things around, and we hear it a lot, personality traits. And people saying things like, oh, with these personality traits, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I'm just wondering, is there any role that personality traits could have on mental health? So things like, I hear people say, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Because I'm a perfectionist that, we haven't rolled it out yet. Or those that are highly ambitious. And I think that's for you, Caroline. Any role for personality traits?
Yes,
and mental
definitely.
health?
I mean, your personality dictates your behavior. Your personality dictates your life, your whole life, So, I mean, somewhere along the line, as an adult, you might decide to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is being aware of your behavior on people. It's being aware of how your behavior can affect things you do. But then again, that's after you become older and you become aware of things going on around you. So yes, your personality definitely is you. It's your rubber stamp. Your personality is your rubber stamp. You wear it, You wear it and you go out into the world with it. So there are people who have personality types where they cannot take stress. So people like that will be prone to having mental health issues. They will be prone to suffering from anxiety. They'll be prone to suffering from depression. They'll be prone to suffering from various illnesses. Because I was mentioning to Dr. Memuna when we were outside, there's something called psychosomatic illnesses. That's where you have a mental problem, could be depression, could be anxiety, but you begin to feel it as it's affecting you physically. So you find people saying, I feel as if I'm getting malaria. It's a mental health problem. Then they go and take typhoid, anti-malaria, the typhoid medication.
All of us have mental health challenge because everybody always feels like they have malaria.
Well, malaria is one of those things that I think in Nigeria we have just accepted that it's malaria. And I don't think in many instances it is. Studies have actually shown that 80% of people who get diagnosed as having malaria don't actually have malaria or typhoid. So it's something that we need to be more aware of. It's something we need to get our minds around. Again, apart from personality traits, Nigerians are very spiritual. So someone could be feeling anxious about something or not putting in their best performance and now attribute it to somebody. Somebody is doing this to them. I have someone, she's an entrepreneur. She put in CCTV in her office and found her member of staff sprinkling oil over her desk and everything. So when she called the staff, to find out what it is. The girl broke down, crying, and admitted that she felt as if something was preventing her from growing in the company. So, you know, it's personality traits again. Our childhood upbringing influences how we become as adults. It plays a large part of influencing how we become, how we deal with things as we get older. You know, psychology is a wide area because, like I said, it encompasses your behavior, which could be from your childhood. It could be from trauma experiences. It turns you into who you are. So a psychologist will talk to you, can take you back so that you begin to identify what is making you behave the way you behave. Why are you dealing with things the way you're dealing with them? So at a stage where you begin to suffer from anxiety, not knowing what you're doing, feeling very uncertain about things, even talking to people, it's best to talk to somebody. Like she said, if you have a close network, that is a close network. Sometimes you want confidential, you want to be confidential, then it's best to see a psychologist or a counselor. But yes, personality traits influences who we are and how we deal with things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, why is it overlooked? Mental health challenge in entrepreneurship. Why is it an overlooked
area. Right.
Because everything keeps going to development of the business, development of staff.
Yes.
And as I'm saying this, I'm guilty.
Yes.
So at EDC, but you know, in recent times we have actually introduced mental wellness in some sessions. But it just hit me now that it's actually very overlooked, and I'm wondering why. Why is it overlooked? And maybe do we need to do more research in that space? But from your individual perspective, why do you think mental health challenges are overlooked?
Well, I think it's overlooked because as Nigerians, as a culture, Nigeria, you know, it's a cultural thing. We see mental health illness as a weakness. We see it as something that we need to rebuke. We see it as something that you don't talk about. You know, you hide it. So we're not yet open to understanding how we function. Mental health awareness is just as important as physical health. In fact, I think it's more important because when you're mentally aware, then you look after your physical health. If you're not mentally aware of what's happening, your physical health will deteriorate and you won't know what's going on, you know? So it's very important that people go out there, get as much knowledge. And I believe that these podcasts are ways of reaching people, for people to be aware that there's nothing to fear about mental health illness. There's no stigma attached to it. In America, people pop in to see their therapist from work.
I'm seeing my therapist.
Yeah. Please, I can't take this appointment. I'm seeing my therapist, and they're on their way. You know, so there is nothing to fear, nothing to attach a stigma to, and it will help you to function better.
And I think it's because, you know, the culture, the taboo and all that, stigma, discrimination is still very high when it comes to mental health. You know, people would rather call me Dr. May than say my doctor. So I'm still highly stigmatized because like, if you are seeing Dr. May, your case is bad. Like, you know, how can you be seeing Dr. May? That means you are going for therapy. That means you have a mental health issue. And what can be done? Business schools like EDC, I'm happy, you know, you're bringing that awareness into it, you know. They should have that model. That is not, we're not just talking about the HR, the finance for non-financial people, people make it happen. No. Have a model where you talk about mental wellness. It can be a wellness series. I run one with one business, you know, fellowship program, and it can just be you know, ensuring that everybody kind of have like a pre-assessment. Most of us have gone for health checks. But how many of us, when you go for that health check, do your CT scan, MRI, food blood counts, everything, do you really tell them, I want to have a mental health check? Check your anxiety level. Check your stress level. We have psychometric assessments that can actually tell you what your figures are. whether you don't sit down on top fence, any small thing, you're on the other side, is there. So you can check your stress, you can check your anxiety, you can check your depression level. So you know what the problem, and of course, drug screening is just 5 minutes. You walk into my office and you are in your teens. We don't see, it's a protocol, it's one of our SOPs. You must do a drug test. There's no two ways about it, because the reason why your parents are bringing you, they may not know why you are behaving the way you are behaving. And in 5 minutes, a urine toxicology test is out to show which of the drugs you are abusing. So I think we also have to play a role. Let it not just be, oh, it has to be government, it has to be a policy. Whatever. You go for your test, also your check annually, do that as an entrepreneur. From time to time, also check how you are functioning and where is that line. Because your thoughts drives your emotions drive your behavior drives your action. People are seeing your action, but it started with a thought. So where is that trigger? Where does that line then cross that you are on the other side, that you need help, you need support, and you need everything necessary to get this business the way you plan? Oh, I want to execute this in 2025, is going the way it's going. So it has to be us taking that, and that's why we need, our circle of influence must be very, good. Because in case you don't know what is happening to you, somebody is telling you something is wrong somewhere. I need you to go see X, Y, Z. I need you to sit down with somebody.
Wow, just listening to you, I'm just thinking now, because for us entrepreneurs, it's we're passionate about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we have this entrepreneurial fever. And all we do is that we think, we live, we breathe, we sniff entrepreneurship. So I'm not wondering, could there be any psychological benefits from separating work and personal that could help us in our mental health journey?
From separating work?
From separating, yes. So like maintaining boundaries.
Yes.
Between work and personal.
Yeah.
But,
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's very important to separate work and your life. There has to be a balance, or else you're going to burn out. Yeah. You're going to crash, and you won't even know that you're crashing. I always say that mental health starts in even your children. Yes, children go through stresses, children react to things, throw tantrums. They are stressed, so it's good to address what is going on the minute that you notice it. Take time. Children don't need to go from school to homework to whatever. There has to be a balance. Likewise, an adult too. If you have to take half an hour to take a walk is not expensive. Take a walk in the evening. Listen to music while you're walking. Create a balance. You have to have downtime from work, or else really it's going to be a detriment to you. So yes, you need to have that balance. If you can travel, take holidays and travel. And not holidays where you're on your laptop or your tablet. Yes. That you're taking calls are coming in, you wake up in the morning, you're on the phone, sitting in the hotel room on your bed, No. You take a proper holiday where you switch off the phone, switch your mind off, enjoy what is going on around you. And taking holidays doesn't mean you have to go abroad, though. You can go to Abeokuta, go to climb Olumo Rock, or go and just, travel around by road. You need to have some downtime. So back to what I was saying about children need downtime as well. Adults need downtime. And one area that I've begun to realize there's a lot of stress in is the elderly. There's a lot of stress amongst them, but they take it because that's how they were brought up, to take things. So mental health is for everybody, from a child to an adult to, even the elderly. But there always has to be that work-life balance. So do things that challenge your mind, do things that give you downtime. Parents, spend time with your kids. You know, talk to them, find out what's going on with them. Go for walks with them. So yes, it's very important.
Yeah, and as entrepreneurs, a lot is at stake, especially when you know, uneasy lies the head that wear the crown. So yeah, you have a lot at stake, and that is why some people, even when they are dying, it's affecting their sanity. They're like, no, I cannot let go. People will look at me as a failure. People will think I can't. No, go. Write your own story. In fact, before you even let go, you can, if you think that, oh, you are that big out there and media will take it, have a media pally. Tell them exactly what, don't let anybody write it for you. I'm started in 2011, I'm exiting in 2025. I have successfully run this business for the past 14, 15 years. I've done this. I've empowered this. I created job in this. Write your story. Let everybody know this is what you want out there. Nobody will come and puncture it. But when you just exit and just feel like, oh, let me know. No. So in as much as, that's why I said public speaking for entrepreneurs is a life skill. And it's not debatable. Don't look at it as if, oh, I don't know how to speak. It's a lie. Go and learn. Why are you marketing? How are you getting people to do it? I want to just hide behind the scene. It's okay if you want to hide behind the scene, but make sure your manager is somebody who can talk. Don't go and get somebody who cannot talk the way you are not talking. If you are not talking, get somebody who can talk for you. The same way we are hiring social media managers, strategists, and all that. Because now we can't all be there, but somebody is doing the work for us. So work life is very important. Integrate yourself. Be in the middle. Make sure everything is happening. You can use very basic life skills like AC-over matrix. Put it in a box. AC-over matrix is talking about important, non-important, urgent, non-urgent. So in the first box, important and urgent, do it. In the second box, important, non-urgent, decide, reschedule, do whatever you want to do. In the third box, non-important but urgent, what they call it, source. And the last box, non-important, non-urgent, delete. But some of us, in that one that is delete, that you are carrying, something that is not important, non-urgent, you are killing yourself there. But if you quickly put this matrix there, and know important, non-important, urgent, non-urgent, and quickly do it, you know in seconds, you know that this one is, I'm rescheduling, I'm deciding on this, I'm doing this immediately, I'm deleting this. And if you think you need to do certain things, there's one technique I teach people on how to build a new habit. A lot of us want to do this whole, like the work you said you want to work. I can't do it. I'm tired in the morning. No, walks are best in the morning because it energizes you,
vitamin
your
D.
feel-good hormones, your vitamin D, C, and all those D that comes in. But not everybody can do that. If it's at night, if it's in the afternoon, do it. But how can you easily develop a new habit? The rule about developing habit is that attach it to a habit you already know, that is already existing. You must brush your mouth in the morning. You will bath right. You will pray. Something that is already like part of you, like second nature. Why you want to develop this new habit, you tell yourself, every time I finish brushing my teeth. So let's take, for example, I want to start doing work 30 minutes per day. And I want to start 3 times a week, So I want to work on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So anytime I brush every Monday morning, I'm going to do my 30 minutes work. And for God's sake, when you do it, for you to sustain that habit takes like 3 weeks, and to sustain it like 6 weeks, right? For you to sustain that habit, something must be motivating you. It's not enough. Discipline is what keeps you there. I tell people these days, consistency is a love language. When you're not consistent with your habits, or your habits will determine your future, your success in life. So attach that 30 minutes work to after brushing my teeth, and then reward yourself. You sustain it. So what is that reward? After I finish brushing, I do my exercise. After I have my exercise, I sleep.
Go back and sleep.
Some people, that is their own reward. Some people say, I want to watch Netflix. Some people say, I want to take ice cream. It depends. So reward yourself.
I want chocolate cake and a cup of coffee.
After the exercise.
Exactly. No. But sometimes you deserve it. Yes, reward yourself.
So that is the thing. Attach it to already existing, like a second nature, that you know that it's something that you don't even think about it before you do it. And then reward it. It's that reward that many people are not rewarded. That's why they're like, oh, I'm tired. That shit I did yesterday. I'm not doing today again. Yeah. And with time, you find yourself getting into that zone.
Into that zone. Okay.
You know what I would add to that is that every entrepreneur should try and do a short business course. It doesn't have to be a long one.
Exactly.
Do a business course which will identify your personality type and how you can function within that entrepreneurship role. Some people are not very good managers, but they can employ good managers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to do everything yourself. Find out where your personality lies and where you will be more efficient. So get a good manager, pay the manager well. You ensure everything is being monitored, your business will succeed. But where you're now trying to do everything yourself, you'll be wondering why your business is not succeeding. That's maybe because you're not a fantastic manager. So people need to do a short course, find out where their strengths lie, where their personality lies, and go forward like that. You've heard the analogy of the duck on water. We're looking calm like this. The duck is on top. But if you look under, the duck is paddling madly. It's not.
It's their life.
Yes.
Like not to drown.
So, as she said, you know, we wear clothes, we look calm, we look nice.
We're well
Sometimes, if someone opens our head and see what is going on inside,
Don't go there.
it's not good. It's not good. So really, this is an ongoing thing. It's not something that we can talk about everything right now. But yes, build it into your business school. You know, it's a fantastic job you're doing. And even, I think even the university too needs to build it for their students. Yeah.
Okay, so now because, you know, this podcast series is titled Venture Voices, and primarily we're exploring the journey, the strategies that entrepreneurs use. So I have a question around money and, you know, this unhealthy relationship people have to money. And I don't understand, why do people develop that kind of relationship? How? And what can we do to sort of bust that cycle?
Now you must have money to succeed.
Yeah, no, just an unhealthy relationship that they have with money.
You know, it's like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
In an abusive relationship, some people are there. People around know that this is an abusive relationship, but you are still there. So what is keeping you there? Fear of the unknown.
Fear, right?
A lot of people is that fear. If I do, and then some people are working from a place of lack. Adverse childhood experiences showcases what we went through as children.
Yeah.
The trauma. Some of us have trauma-bound responses.
Yes.
You see some people, they are forever over-apologizing. Nobody asks you.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to go to so place after this place? And yes, I've gotten the driver. No, they don't. It was just a yes
or no.
Or no.
Yeah.
Over apologizing, over explaining, all those trauma-bound responses. So it may be working from a place of scarcity, poverty of the mind. You know, this person as a child, maybe it was 001 or 010, meaning you have the food, which is very small, but there was no meat. And now you are big, you have the money, like, hey, see, my house will turn to an abattoir. I will eat this meat to submission. No, God punish poverty. You're preaching from a place of lack.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not about that, because as you grow older, you need less red meat.
Yeah.
But because that is how it has been, you're like, no, it has to be. So money is not the issue. It's the value money gives you. You may have everything. Money is paper now. Money is paper. If you give me $1 now, say, this is dollar. But give it to somebody that doesn't know the difference between naira, dollar, pound, euro. You say, is it not just paper and squeeze it? Yeah, that is $100, dare you. You know how much it has. Convert it to naira. There's one that's 60,000 naira. So the value money gives you, money exchange for goods and services. So people, when there's that fear of the unknown, if I don't have, where some people, their personality trait also affect. Talk about a narcissist. Narcissist, hey, he doesn't have money. No, because narcissists want to take over. They are bossy. They want to be the one in charge. And you are saying, you are my way or no way.
Or the highway.
That's just it. And you are saying the person, no. So some people have that unhealthy attachment to money. I have to make money. Money must work for me. No. It's what is money doing for you? What is the value? Our biggest value you have as an entrepreneur, even as a human being, is social capital. My billions are with you, Neka. It's just a phone call and you say, oh, Dr. May, I think you need to meet this DG of this, and that's my billions will roll out. But if you are chasing that money and you are not nurturing the relationship I have with you, where will the money? So that unhealthy has to come from a place where some people, that fear of the unknown, from a place of lack, poverty, trauma-bond responses. These are some of the things that, and it's very unhealthy, like you said, really, really unhealthy, because with that, you don't find some people doing unethical things, unprofessional things, even diabolic things, things that are not out of societal norms, just to keep up that I have the money. Forgetting that the day you die, that money is not going to go with you. Let's not go spiritual here. But the truth is that is what the scriptures are saying, and we all believe in the scriptures, right? But the truth is that is so. Why you want money to work for you, you shouldn't get yourself so attached that it now gives you some level of, I don't have, you are becoming anxious about it. I don't have, or I have. Too much money itself can give you problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So these are some of the things I've seen, working with people, doing researches that this unhealthy attachment to this 5-letter word, money.
So another one that also I've started hearing a lot about, it's been there forever, is burnout. So my TT specialist, my talk therapy specialist, what are some of the signs that we can see that we would know that we're burning out or about to burn out?
Okay. Some of the signs to look out for is really not being able to cope. You just find out that you're not deriving. Yes, you're not deriving joy from things you used to derive joy from. You're feeling anxious, so you have to go and do something, and you're feeling like, hey, can I do it? How am I going to do it? You're feeling anxious about everything. You're also feeling tired, unduly tired. It's not like you've done anything, but you're feeling tired, So
Couldn't that be physical though?
That's why I said you might not be doing anything physical.
No, I mean, like maybe you're running low on iron or something.
Yes, that's one of the classical signs of burnout. Okay. Also, you would find out that you are short-tempered. So in offices, you do have ogas who, they get angry with their staff, verbal with their staff. But will oga ever agree that he needs some help? No. He will take it out on the staff, and the staff has to absorb it, So that oga is burning out. He's crash landing, and he doesn't even know it.
If he's always been short-tempered, though.
That's a personality. That's personality.
And then it could actually make the mental health, worse. Because can you imagine being like that for all your life? One day you'll just, People like that should actually monitor their blood pressure quite often, because that blood pressure could be elevated from all that anger, So burnout is really just noticing that you're not coping well. Others could even notice around you. Why are you shouting? Why are you cranky? Why are you... all these type of things. So that's a classic sign of burnout. I mentioned earlier when we first started talking, finding it difficult getting out of bed in the mornings. I'm defrosting meat. I have to go and boil the meat. I don't feel like doing it today. I don't have the energy to do it. Shouting at the children all the time, just for nothing, beating them, not dressing properly, not doing your hair, you just find out that things are not working as they normally do. So those are classic signs of burnout. And you can either deal with it yourself if you notice it yourself. Like I said, mindfulness. You need to be aware of your surroundings, of yourself. If you notice it, then you can reel yourself back in. Say, I need to take a break, even if it's one day. Even if it's a Sunday, like she said, watch Netflix, have that chocolate cake, have just mindfulness, look after yourself. Because if not, it will develop into full-blown mental health illness and physical illness as well.
Truly, because if you don't look at it well,
Yes.
with all the symptoms she has rolled out,
Yeah.
it can easily cross over to clinical
Yes.
depression.
Snowball.
Yes.
Yes, snowball.
Yes.
Snowball. And then, of course, this being
And-
that entrepreneur, you are no longer disease,
Functioning,
no longer, you're not
yeah.
functioning, productivity will go down, poor
Yeah.
decision making,
Yeah.
and that is why the business will even
Fail, yeah.
So
And not
burnout
just
is
your
real.
uncle in the village.
No,
chasing you.
burnout
no.
is real, and we have to just make sure that we notice when we are
Yeah.
getting to that level.
Yeah.
It was in the process of, look, I have to monitor myself, check myself, not to burn out. I don't work on Mondays. So my weekends is Friday to Tuesday. If you see me in my office on Monday, everybody knows that there's something she's coming to do in the office. So what do I do on Mondays? Most times I'm in my house, if I'm in the country, very unproductive, maybe blogging, just lazing around. So you don't look for me. So when people ask for a meeting, it's very easy for me to say, okay, I think this meeting will be exciting. Let me do it on a Monday, because Mondays I'm not doing the big hard work. Preventing burnout also made us that in my office, everybody's job is doubled. So my front desk, there are two people there Monday to Friday. You work 3 days, this person works 3 days. You rotate on a Sunday. The psychology is the same thing. So nobody is working Monday to Friday. And where did that lesson come from? During COVID. I was the psychosocial team lead for Lagos TikTok, which we know that Lagos was the epicenter. So practically what we're doing in Lagos was what was replicated nationwide, right? So that taught me a lesson that, these people working this time, no. Why don't you make sure our nurses, because they are going to do transportation from Ikorodu or maybe sometime even outside town, they do 24 hours. They will have their bag, dress up and go to wherever they are going to the next day. So I'm not doing morning shift, afternoon shift, night shift. Have the 2-3 nurses on duty, but they are doing 24 hours. They come in with one transfer money, they go out with one transfer money. But if you close for morning duty, by the time you are getting home, it's in the night. So why don't you maximize their productivity and keep them? There's the kitchenette, there's the microwave is there, the staff room to bathe and change is there. So those things, not only you as an entrepreneur, also look at your business holistically. What do you do and how to keep people in place? And of course, EDC has taught us enough. We always replicate it in our business and our day-to-day life. So kudos to EDC.
Thank you very much. As you're just sharing now, my mind flashed to one of the entrepreneurs in the ecosystem, Soulmate. And that's a wonderful brand. The founder, he has showers in his factory.
That's it.
For his staff. He said he realized that he had majority of his staff were of childbearing age. Mostly young women.
People.
So he put showers there, he put
Crèche.
a creche, and then he got somebody to be giving them food. Then he said that another thing that he realized that made a lot of them sick was as a result of the kind of water that they have access to drink. So he always had clean water. If you want, you can take and definitely productivity.
Of course.
Will, go through
Of
the
course,
roof.
yeah.
And
And
that's a
staff
brand that
retention
they
as
have.
well. Staff retention, yeah.
Talent
Staff
retention,
retention.
staff
Yeah.
retention.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But just hearing you for the viewers and for our audience, listening to us now, what are some simple strategies that you can recommend to us to help us manage anxiety and manage a first aid box, if you will, for mental health.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
mental health,
toolkit,
yes,
yeah,
toolkit,
yeah.
yes,
So anytime
yes.
you need, okay, so I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
this one,
yeah.
I'm taking this one
Yeah.
out of it.
Especially stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
Because Nigeria, I tell people that it's like living in a pressure pot.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get,
Yeah.
tomorrow. So, and with that comes a lot of anxiety. So from both your perspectives, what are some simple strategies that you want to recommend?
So exercise, eat
Downtime.
right, yes, eat well, take breaks, nourish your mind, focus on things that are helpful to you, that make you happy. Your surroundings, surround yourself with good friends. Once in a while, go out with your friend for a meal, even if it's nowhere so expensive. Go out for a coffee, go out for a meal. Don't talk about work, talk about, where can I get the next, this or that, help one another, nourish one another. So I would say that those are some of the things that can help.
For me, I would say Start with auditing yourself.
Auditing yourself.
Audit your life. A lot of us fail because we haven't even understand our own SWOT. We do that for our businesses. Oh, what are the strengths in our business? What is the weakness? You, yourself, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities are around you? What are the threats to this opportunity? It's good you have a to-do list. Do you have a not to-do list? Because it's your not to-do list that will derail you from your to-do list. So first rule, audit your life. Audit your family, career, physical health, mental health, psychological, spiritual health. Place it over 10. Which one is 2 over 10? Which one is 5 over 10? Which one is 8 over 10? So audit that. And then, of course, you begin to start practicing certain things that on a day-to-day basis you can. One thing that is very key, and I recommend, highly recommend, is gratitude. Rather than saying, oh, there'll be traffic today. No. Be grateful that you even have opportunity of going to where you are going to. You know, at least at the end of every day, what have you been grateful for? You can start anytime. Have a jar. Have family members that you can collectively do it together. At the end of every month, open it and see what you will wear. You can start with one thing I'm grateful for. You can do 3 things. So gratitude jar, gratitude challenge is one thing. Then journaling. If you do not journal, you will not see a pattern. And you will not see where you make those changes. Because you just assume that Monday you must be at work. No, my week doesn't start on Monday because I have known that Mondays are stressful days for me. So while you audit, you do gratitude, you journal, then there are some very practical steps, things you can do. What we call deep breathing. You are in traffic, you cannot carry your car and run. You cannot put it on your head. You are in a meeting, you are stressed out, you have anxiety. Deep breathing really helps you. What we practice, there are different methods. But one thing that is very good is to inhale through your nostrils and exhale through your mouth. So you can do the 4-7-8 challenge, you can do the 4-4 challenge. So you inhale, breathe in through your nostrils, count up to 4. Then hold your breath, count up to 7, and exhale through your mouth with the whoosh sound, counting up to 8. So the 4-7-8 challenge and different deep breathing is one thing. Then what we call another very practical step is what we call grounding technique. Like when you tell a child, you are grounded. And one thing you can do with grounding is to use your 5 sensory modalities. So when we talk about grounding yourself, use the 5-4-3-2-1 challenge, technique rather. So I'm anxious now, I'm here, social anxiety, I don't want to be in front of the camera, look at everybody in the room and all that. So you can easily ground yourself in that space. What are 5 things you can see around you? You are using your sight. I can see you, I can see this, I can see my phone, 5 things. What are 4 things you can touch and feel their texture? I can touch it. So even if you don't have to move around, things you are wearing, I can touch my scarf, I can touch my earring, I can touch my pendant, I can touch my dress. Then 3 things you can hear. If you can move around, fine, move around. But if you can't, I can hear the sound of this, I can hear somebody screeching. So 3 things you can, hear. Then 2 things you can perceive. And then the last one is 1 thing you can taste or 1 thing you love about yourself. It will shift you from that stressful, anxious zone to a focused, relaxed, where you can be more logical, where you can take decision, and where you can proceed, because now you now know what to do. So audit, gratitude, journal, do these techniques, 5 years. Then, of course, it's very key for us to practice self-care. It is not selfishness. It is self-preservation. Ensure that you know what you're doing. Because when you know your strength, weakness, and opportunity and threat, you now know what to do. Sleeping well. Most people don't understand that 7 to 8 hours of sleep is something that we should do. Because you are not sleeping well, you are making a lot of mistakes. No, if I sleep, I'll sleep my destiny away. When your body sleeps on you, you will not even have the mind to do anything. So sleeping well is very good, at least 7 to 8 hours. And no Lagosians have exited the WhatsApp group because, we don't sleep. Please sleep, because your body can sleep on you, and that is a serious medical condition, both physically and mentally. Then having the right set of people in your circle of influence, you need that. A healthy support system, the word here is healthy. Don't just have a support system, it has to be healthy enough. They pull you out when you're in the hole, they cheer you up when you're there.
And you do the same.
And you do the same. In a room of opportunities, call them. So these are some of the practical steps you should do. Eat well, not to eat to belly food, eat well. Make sure your food is colorful. Don't go and break the bank. There are always fruits and vegetables in the season. So just make sure that your food is not just white and red. It's not rice and stew. Add some, all those things. So these are practical things that even if you are not an entrepreneur, you should strive to achieve. Like I said, consistency is a love language.
Fantastic. And with that, if we come to the end, where I'm going to ask you, when we look under 30 years going forward, yeah, we're looking at the future, 30 years, what do you see? From where both of you sit, working with entrepreneurs, what do you want to see in 30 years?
Well, what I see and what I want to see, I think, are two different things.
So what we want to see in 30 years?
Yes, what I want to, yes.
As a psychologist,
yes.
as a talk
therapist, yes.
enthusiast.
What I would like to see is people being more aware of their mental health and utilizing the resources that are available to them. There are psychologists, there's a psychiatrist, there's, a host of people. There are coaches, there are social workers, acupuncturists, you can, there's a whole, even there are spas where you go for wellness days and everything. You need to nourish your mind. It's like giving your mind a massage once in a while. So I want people to be more aware of this. It will help you function better. And of course, once you function better, it will create a more, a better living space for everybody. So I just want the future to be more happy, to be more understanding, to be more aware of everything that is going on with them.
I want to see more safe spaces.
Where we
normalize mental health conversations by building a culture of compassion. Because I believe the triple muscle we all deserve to start building now and in the future is the muscle of empathy, compassion, and kindness. If you don't find people around you that are kind, you be kind. And most especially, reducing stigma and discrimination attached to mental health. People living with mental illnesses, including their families. So I want to see that future when we are talking about mental health just the way we talk about malaria. People are going to see their mental health professionals and, there's nothing like they are going to get them off the job or somebody say, oh, and now know that's the reason why you are behaving the way you are behaving. So safe spaces for normalizing mental health conversations and developing that triple muscle of empathy, compassion, and kindness. And doing it one person at a time in our pursuit for greatness.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Venture Voices. Until next time, keep venturing and keep inspiring. Thank you.